Peace, peace, peace to the planet Earth. Rob Blackstorm here. I just want to chop it up with y'all a little bit on this beautiful Sunday. It's raining out here in New York, and I just want to say that our bodies are 70% water. The planet is 70% water as well. We are made up of mostly water. So when we put things out into the universe, or when we try to manifest things, one of the best times is during the rain. Why is that? There's something called barometric pressure, right? Barometric pressure, and you've probably seen that when you watch the news or something like that. They talk about the barometric pressure going up, the barometric pressure going down. Barometric pressure pretty much it's just saying that the air is heavier on Earth, or there's more pressure. That's why older people feel this barometric pressure in their bones. So basically what's happening is you feel that pain. But what happens after the barometric pressure pressures you, what happens is the barometric pressure starts rising again. So essentially what happens is the rain comes down, boom, it stops raining, then it gets warmer, and the barometric pressure starts rising again. So what does that mean? That means if you're 70% water, and the planet is 70% water, that means that the energy that you put out into the universe can be carried through water. And I forgot his name. I think his name is Dr. Masuto. Don't get me wrong. He did all these experiments with putting water out. He put one glass of water that said happy, one glass of water that said sad, some that said Adolf Hitler, some that said abundance. And he ran these experiments. Dr. Maruto, he ran these experiments. And the experiments would determine what would happen if he left these glasses of water, sealed the glasses of water and left them alone. And what he discovered was the glasses with the different messages responded different, even though they all had the same water in them. The ones with the evil, well, I don't want to say evil, but the ones with the negative messages, those glasses were the ones that got foggy. And the glasses that had the clear messages, those glasses either grew, like for instance, there was one that had money. And the money glass actually developed, started growing like money grows, right? And he had one that had abundance, and it started to grow as well. It grew like a trail. It was thanks to the abundance, and it grew like a trail, right? And also there's other shapes and stuff that once he put the water under the microscope, he discovered that this water had certain property and I was crystallizing actually in different forms. The water was looking like snowflakes with the positive messages, but the ones with the negative messages, or the ones with like Adolf Hitler on them, they were like foggy and cloudy and murky when he put looked at the water under the microscope. So I say that to say this, that water is a powerful medium, and water and corresponds to brain waves, corresponds to sound waves, and it corresponds to basically our movement. See, we have melanin, black people, but we don't really know why we have melanin, right? Well, I don't want to say we don't know. Like, we know the visual effects. We know we dance well. We know we create different words and languages like dissing and thoughts and nah I'm saying and nah I mean, stuff like that. We create words and languages, and we are very creative and very resourceful. We took the discarded pig and created chitlins and hog maws. People still eat to this day. This is how creative we are. We take the scraps and make greatness out of them. But why is that? Well, this is why. We have a melanin skin suit, no different than Black Panther in the Black Panther movie. And that melanin, what melanin does, it basically just absorbs light and turns light to energy. Now, everybody has melanin. Black people, white people, Chinese people, blue black people, everybody has melanin, right? What they don't really talk about, though, is the melanin in the brain, which is neuromelanin. The melanin in the brain is very important. And this also goes along with manifesting what you want, and also the law of attraction. So you have these emotions, right? And let's say black people, right? You have the black people you could say black people could dance well, right? That would be pretty much, you can say that's a fact, right? We dance better than most people in most other cultures. most other ethnic groups, right? Not even being racist or stereotypical. It's just what it is. That's what it is. We dance better. Also, we create dope music, usually better than most other cultures. Now, other cultures do have music, but we create really great music, right? We can say that without being, racist or biased or anything like that. Even white people will be like, yo, black people make some dope ass music. I've heard them say that, And even the Doctor with the Water, he also had heavy metal and, soul music, and showed the different, how the heavy metal was circular and cloudy, the crystal, how when he put the water under the telescope, or under the, forgive me, not the telescope, but the magnifying glass or whatever. But anyway, when he checked it out and saw it in a microscopic form, it was all cloudy. And when the water for soul music, it was crystallized into like a snowflake. Anyway, so I say that to say this. We create music, we create dances, we create new words. What else? We're very emotional, and we're very, very passionate. We're so emotional to the point that white people say that we don't have emotional intelligence. We all know that some of us are out of control with our emotions. So some of that is true, that we don't have emotional intelligence. The reason we don't have emotional intelligence is because we're using our emotions wrong. Our emotions are supposed to be for the law of attraction, right? It's supposed to be for the law of attraction. Black people inherently, due to the fact that they're melanated and we are able to gain access to more power from the sun, we are able to channel that sunlight and use it as energy. It's literally just like the Black Panther suit with vibranium, right? So vibranium suit, it could take in energy and kick it back out. The same thing that our bodies can do. So I say all that to say this. The vibe that you put out is the vibe that you will get. The way you put out strong vibes is to use our emotions. Use these emotions. Charge these emotions up. And let these emotions spread. Now, even if you're going through a struggle, there's no place to go but up. No place to go but up. There's nothing that can hurt you by thinking positive. Nothing. You could think positive all day. I'm abundant. Money comes to me easily. I don't work hard for money. People love me. People come to support me. People come to aid me. People come to give me gifts. I am surrounded by a world that is designed to make sure that I am safe, happy, protected, and abundant. I seek peace, power, and prosperity daily. I am lucky. I am blessed. I am divine. That's easy to do, right? Now, imagine you in the gym. I'm abundant. I'm powerful. I'm divine. Or you doing one of them dances, right? Block Boy JB, and you powerful. I'm abundant. I'm divine. Money's coming to me easily. I know great things happen to me. You charging these thoughts up with abundance. That's what the melanin is for. The melanin is so you can manifest things. Now let's go back to the water. Our bodies are 70% water. The earth is 70% water. We live in the aquatic universe, or aquatic planet I should say. And we emit sound waves and brain waves, right? These are facts. So when we charge these emotions, we are creating waves into the universe. We're actually putting things out into the universe and setting our intentions and letting these waves wash into the universe. Now, when we set these intentions and put these waves out, we actually are creating our reality. Because this world is nothing but a light and sound show. That's really all it is. Your brain is encased in darkness. Your body is dark. Inside your body is darkness. You can't see inside your body. Even the space within atoms, proton, neutrons, and electrons, is just space. It's just darkness. The universe is mostly darkness. The ancients, the Kemites, called it Nu. Or you could say the waters of Amen, or the waters of Amenta, right? They called it waters as well. These are what the Kemites or the ancient Egyptians said. So I'm saying this to say this, that a lot of times we're playing games. We have all the knowledge, right? Even myself, I had a lot of this knowledge about manifesting, the law of attraction, putting energy out, and all this stuff. But I wasn't doing it on a regular basis. You see, you can't do this work one day and just stop. This has to be a daily process. Now, in the morning, what I do is I program myself. I program my mind. That's the first thing I do. I program my mind and I visualize what I want to desire, what I want to manifest. And let me tell you something. This year started out crazy for me. Crazy. Financially, trouble. Car, trouble. Just trouble. Shit was just happening left and right. Now, the shit that was happening was to teach me a lesson. It was to teach me a lesson to manage my abundance wisely. Because see, you could ask for all this abundance and you could get it, right? The job that I have now is the job that I manifested, right? And I'm going to tell you how I manifested it. How I manifested it was when I was having sex with women. I was having sex, and during the moments of passion, I would think about the shit that I wanted, which was this type of job. I would also think about this car that I have, of getting a car, because I didn't have a car. Right? These are the things that I thought about. And then I started to get them. I started to get the things that I wanted. But I didn't really know how to manage my abundance. So it came in, went out, came in, went out. And then shit started happening because I wasn't managing my abundance. I didn't respect my abundance. So something crazy happened this year, right? I was down to my last, y'all. My last penny. My last coin. And I'm going, like, I got a change cup on my dresser, right? So I'm busted and disgusted. People that are close to me will tell you I'm busted and disgusted. Paying my rent late, months a month. Sales. I'm in sales. My sales wasn't doing good. I'm pretty much like, even though I work for a company, it's very independent. I eat what I kill. So I don't work a typical 9 to 5. If I don't sell nothing at my job, I'm done. I'm done. So I have to sell. So I wasn't doing that well. I wasn't making my usual quota, and I'm a top earner where I work. So it was just bad. Things was just happening with the car and tolls and just crazy stuff, right? And I needed to learn these lessons. So that's why it happened in retrospect. But at the time, it's like, shit, the fuck, this storm was just coming and I couldn't see my way out. So at first I did the normal thing. I went to my comfort zone, right? Started drinking, smoking weed every day. Drinking, smoking weed. Drinking, smoking weed. Drinking, smoking weed. Continuously, right? And then something was just like, look, how long you gonna do this? How long you gonna stay down? How long you gonna stay depressed? Because at some point, depression was a comfort zone for me as well. Like, for instance, this winter, I'm supposed to be depressed. I have SAD, seasonal affective disorder. I'm actually supposed to be depressed. It was fucking cloudy all week. I'm supposed to be very depressed, right? Clinically speaking, even scientifically speaking, based on my disorder. But I decided when I was in that change cup, right? I decided before I hit before I hit the change cup, actually. I was going through it, smoking weed, whatever, drinking, just feeling sorry for myself, feeling like a little bitch and pitying myself. And something told me, man, get up off your ass, right? Get up off your ass. Just act like, what I'm saying? Just act like shit's okay, man, because what you going to do? The only thing you can do is go up from here. You're already down. Shit's already bad. So I started thinking up. Went back to the gym. Started thinking much more positively. Started thinking, well, I just got to hustle a little harder and look for other opportunities and avenues to make money. Don't you know, within 7 days, people, one of my old jobs sent me 2 checks out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Not only was it what I needed to kind of get back on my feet, but it was more than what I needed. It was an abundance. Now, and so that was like, okay. So I was like, all right, let me see what else is going on. What else I could do with this? So then I started, researching and looking up the law of attraction and looking up things about getting abundance and looking up things that dealt with growth and dealt with enlightenment and dealt with who I was. And what happened was I started to develop a mindset that I have now that's my mindset for life. Now, this is my mindset for life. And I started to realize that the more positive that I thought, the more good things started happening. Right? Started manifesting trips, cheap trips too. Things I was supposed to pay more for, getting discounts. Started manifesting money out of nowhere. Started manifesting a little side hustle out of nowhere where I mentor people in spiritual ways. And I don't advertise this on my main page, but this is something that I do on the side, And I started doing other things and things just started happening. I remember one day, this is a true story. I remember one day my spirit, right? Because I've been thinking positive. I'm also spiritual, but I'm trying to get away from, the deep esoteric spiritual stuff. But my spirit was telling me, actually, let me get into it a little bit. When you talk about spirit, a lot of people get spooked and say, oh, this and this and that. Spirit, when you translate it or go into the etymology of the word, spirit means breath. That's it. There's nothing spooky about it. Spirit means breath. We all breathe. We all have a spirit, right? Spirit means breath. So, but breath isn't everything, right? Breath is everywhere. We all breathe in oxygen, kick out carbon dioxide to the trees, and the trees kick out oxygen to us. There's the cycle of life, right? So when we breathe, we actually are sharing with the world. And we're emitting other things, energies and waves, which also brings us what we want. So that spirituality is really the law of attraction, the law of manifestation too. But anyway, I say that to say this. I started finding money on the ground. Oh, back to the scratch offs. So yes, I found money on the ground more than once since then. And I've been, literally my spirit has been telling me, a voice in my head has been telling me, yo, go here, hit this scratch off. Yo, go to this place, get this scratch off. Now, family, I don't really play scratch offs. You know what I'm saying? I don't play the lottery too often. I don't play scratch offs. I may play, before this year, I may play the number like, I don't know, maybe twice. If the shit is like a mega zillion, you know what I'm saying? That shit hits like 20 trillion, then I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? But prior to that, I wasn't really doing that. But this universe is abundance. And this universe wants to give me every fucking thing I deserve. You hear me? Everything I deserve. And the universe wants to give you everything you deserve too. But you got to know how to manifest. So when you have these ideas, and when you have these visions, and when you have these goals, charge them up. Charge them up. I used to see myself driving. I used to see myself looking at the wheel, listening to music in the car. I didn't have a car. I used to see myself, and I've had cars before this, but this one, I used to look at myself and see myself driving a car. My credit was bad. You know what I'm saying? This car came to me. I needed it. You know what I'm saying? And I could see myself driving the car and see my kids in the back of the car. You understand? This is something that I wanted. And when you manifest, you also have to manifest why you want it. Don't just manifest the car because you want to stun on your homies. Don't just manifest the house because you want to stun on somebody. Why do you want it? Why do you want the house? What do you need what do you need the space for? What are you going to do with it? That should be part of your manifestation script. Write it down. Write it down. Make it real. Write it down. Write down what the car looks like. Write down what the logo looks like. Write down what kind of car you want to drive. Write it down. Make it real. And make it real and then move. Do the mental work. Charge it up with emotion. You could dance. Dance while you manifesting. If you in the gym, if you speak in the mirror like this, say, I'm abundant. Great things are going to happen to me. This tragedy is over. You understand? And put that power forth. That's all the preacher's doing when you go to church. All he's doing is speaking. And in the background, he got the choir going and he's charging up your emotions. So when you pray in that church and you think and you go to church and you might pray and then things manifest, that's why. I don't even want to say probably, that's why. Especially if you're doing that in that time period, if you're using that energy of church to pray and to manifest things, yeah, it's gonna happen. Because that's the law. That's the law. You're putting forth that energy, you're sending those waves out, you're sending that water out into the universe, so it must come back. Right? Just like the rain, just like the barometric pressure causes the rain, or causes the air causes the air pressure to hit us, right? And you start feeling like it's gonna rain. The same way you feel it in your bones that it's gonna rain, right? The same way it'll go back out into the universe, what you manifest. The same way you feel that is the same way you push that back out, with feeling, with passion, with power, with purpose. This is what melanin's for. Melanin is not no play, no toy. This is not no, oh, it's good for wrinkles and it's anti-aging and it's blocks UV light. Like, that's the basics. That's like ground level shit for melanin. Melanin is so much more magical. Like, if you really study the brain and study neuromelanin, you find out so much shit. You really realize that your movements, there's something in your brain called substantia nigra. Substantia nigra is basically black. It's translated to mean the black element, right? Nigra means black, substantia, substance. So the black substance, sorry. And this is in your brain. When you're born, you don't have this in you. When you're born, you don't have it at all. What happens is, as you physically move, it produces more. And it's part of your neuromelanin, actually. It's one of the substances that make up the neuromelanin. So and it's primarily for your movement. So what happens is, when you're born, you don't have neuromelanin. You know what I'm saying? You don't. And what happens is, as you start to move and as you grow, it develops more and more and more and more and more. So why is your neuromelanin developing with movement? Why? Right? Why is the melanin in your brain developing according to movement? Because you have to put that energy out there and send that out into the universe to manifest what you want. This